you another medication. That is when one doctor said, maybe you're looking at the wrong place. Say, what is a chart? They look at the chart. He scanned the girl was very short, very, very short. But from the report, both her parents are very tall. And he said, maybe it must be the hormones. Because if the body is messing up with hormones, which means it's going to affect the growth factor. If it affects growth factor, even if your parents are tall, you're going to be short. So guess what? They forgot all these side effects and attacked that particular thing in order to get what? To get rid of that place that, messes up with hormones, and all of a sudden everything was all right. Because the other doctors are looking at the symptoms. It was this doctor who looked at what? The root cause. Now coming to our community. We tend to complain. We have problems. We're losing our children. Nobody cares about us. Look, the apartments that we have, they always they increase. But why? If you don't, this is America. If you don't have a strong community, a healthy, strong community, everybody will take advantage of you. And I'm going to give you a sad example. One of our own brothers, right here in the Bronx, was picked up by the immigration after Salat al-Fajr. No notice and no warning. The brother has been told to produce 1,000 signatures. People saying that, yes, we know him and he's a good man. And guess what? We did. And yet, they picked him up. What does that mean? Which means 1,000 signatures are useless. If you don't respect yourself, nobody will. Nobody. If you go to another community, only one signature is enough. The immigration will never have a second fancy ideas. Because they know if they do, there's going to be consequences. But because they know we don't know our rights, and we are very vulnerable, and we act individually, so they take advantage of us. How long have we been saying that we must prepare our children to take on the next level of what? Challenges. And we don't. And so I don't know you. And you don't know me. I know you by face. And I hypocritically call you a brother. I don't even know where you live. You don't know where I live. I don't know your children. You don't know my children. And our children don't know each other. Well, if the fathers don't know each other, what is a big deal for the children? And so they're taking advantage of us. They can't do that to the other communities. The last time I gave you an example, right here in downtown Manhattan. Chinatown. A man having a building realized that the building was full of all Chinese people that don't even speak good English. And now the area is becoming a hotspot. So he want to take advantage of them, so he kicked them out with the excuse that he's going to renovate the place and bring them back. Because he has already figured out that if I can bring in new people, they are going to pay a higher amount and I'm going to make money. And he was right. So he kicked them out. Please, please let me have North Carolina number PBR 1141. North Carolina number, please. North Carolina number plate PBR 1141. Please move the car as soon as possible. He took advantage of the old poor people that can barely speak English. So they're not a threat. But that is wrong. Because they've already figured out that we speak English. Our children born right here, they are as American as everybody else. So they speak the language. So they prepare their children. And all what they did, when they realized that new people are coming into the building, they figured out that it's not about renovation, it's about kicking them out. So they told their children, they're born here. So they understand the system. And only one lady, one young woman in her 20s, she said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. She works in the mayor's office. Guess what? Within a few days, the landlord was in trouble, and all these old women, all these old people were back into the apartment with compensation. Remember the last time they kicked one in a flight? Do you know how many American-born Chinese lawyers took the case? Because they prepared them. Now let me ask you, if they kick us out, how many children do we have? Our own children born right here, prepared to take on the case. Now they've actually taken one of us. How many of our children, American born, that we've prepared them to become lawyers to take on this case? What about nothing? And we are Muslims. And that is very painful. Sometimes you just have to look and say, you know what, mashallah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qadar, so the brother, mashallah. Two things. Spiritually, what if the brother was the only one with connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anytime we make dua, his Ameen is that which Allah considers? What about that? So which means even spiritually we lose. And now that he has been arrested, now we're going around asking Fisabilillah to take care of the family. What type of need is this? Muslims are the only community who wait for trouble to strike before they start to figure out how to solve it. When wallahi it is unacceptable. The Jews have already allocated some amount of money. Should calamity strikes, we take from this to solve the problem. The Christians are doing the same thing. The Chinese are doing the same thing. Everybody else is doing the same thing except the Muslims. And these are those Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to that what? بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس أمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. You are the best ever evolved, the best ever chosen among mankind. Why? You enjoy that which is good, you forbid that which is bad, and then you firmly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let us backtrack. Do we really enjoy that which is good? Do we forbid that which is bad? Do we firmly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If not, then we are not the best. Because kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrajat linnas bishart. It comes with a condition, and these are the three conditions. And we are losing our children. Muslims are the only community that don't have a record of the youth. I told you the last time, The Jews have long forgotten about preparing their children to work for others. They've long forgotten that. They prepare their children not to become workers. They prepare their children to manage workers. And you know that today you make less money than you used to make 30 years ago. If you work in a company after 5 years and you receive the same amount, which means you're receiving less, you have to understand that. Because by 5 years you have enough experience to add value to your time. So they should be paying you more. If you receive the same amount, first of all, which means you're making less, which means the 5 years service has gone down the drain without any respect. That's one. Remember, within that 5 years, your bills, your rent, the food, everything shoots up. So now the same check cannot cope with all these expenses. And guess what? The pressure back home is building. And wallahi, unless we face this problem head on, who will be the next to be picked up? Forget about your American passport. Remember, it's a privilege. It's not a right. They can take it, confiscate it anytime. And so don't say, oh, maybe this brother has an issue for me, I have my American passport, you know, I need to speak, you know, I've even improved on my accent. Forget about that. Now we give all excuses. It took me 5 years, it took me 10 years to get my papers, it took me 20 years. But what about our children? Give all sort of excuses. The day they were born with the American passport in their hands. So your 20, 30 years that you've been weeping about has already been wiped out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at anytime you put our youth and ask them, what do you plan to do? I plan to complete this and go and work here and go and work here. Nobody thinks of how to create jobs. And how do you prepare them if you don't know each other to begin with? Something very simple. Names. Wallah, we don't know the names of each other. And even when we are in the same masjid we have subgroups. We are from this country, and we are from that country, and we are from that country. And from the same one country, we are from this tribe, and we are from that tribe, and we are from that tribe. And in the same, we are from this village. And with this garbage is actually affecting our children. Forget about where you came from. Our children have only one country, that's America. If you are not going back, what makes you think he will? Or what makes you think she will? Well, if this is their country, and it is, and they ain't going nowhere, what mechanism are we putting in place to ensure that they actually operate efficiently? And we are Muslims. And that's why we put 1,000 signatures. And they say, still, forget about these people. They don't know what they're doing. I swear by Allah, they can't do this to the Jews. They can't. They can't. And guess what? We are almost twice. We are more than twice the number of Jews right here in America. And yet look at us. You keep on doing the same thing every day and you say, Inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bada uzbillah min shaitan rajim in Surah Al-Ra'd. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never change the condition of a people unless they initiate the change. Wallah, if you sit in this masjid, Inna Allah razaqu dhu quwwatil matin. Ya Allah rabbana irzuqna, and you stay in this masjid, you're going to be as poor as the rats of this masjid. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bada uzbillah min shaitan rajim. Even on Fridays, فَإِذَا قُدِيَتُ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. So it requires action for you to see results. What happened to us? We are not just ordinary people. We are Muslims. I told you it's only recently that the #1 nutritionist in America and one of the most respected scientists in the world. It was only recently. Why, we have two imams? Okay. It was only recently that he was urging Americans that no matter what you use toilet roll, it's not enough. You have to use istinja, you have to use water. It took the most respected, one of the most respected scientists, being a non-Muslim, to figure this out. Something that we knew over 1,400 years ago. That's how sophisticated we are. So how did we disintegrate to this point, whereby everybody is acting on his own? Wallahi, if you have to ask each and every one of us, what is your role in the community? The person doesn't know. If you ask me, what is my role in the community? I don't know. Why? Because we don't have an agenda. It is said that if you don't know where you're going, then every road will take you there. What is our agenda? Where do we want to see our children 10, 15, 20, 50 years from now? What document? So that even if we put it down, that this is the action plan, this is what we intend to do the next 30, 40 years, and this is the launching pad. We're going to start from here for 1, 2 years to see whether it's practical or we need to make an adjustment and have it documented. So even if we die, all what our children have to do is to open the document and continue the legacy. That if something strikes today and we die off, and it's possible, what will our children do? What will they do? First of all, they even have an identity crisis. And wallahi, sometimes they think Islam is the cause of. Islam is the cause why we don't think big. Islam is the cause why we don't own businesses. Islam is the cause why we act individually. Islam is the cause why we don't have agenda. Sometimes that's how they think. And so that's why sometimes they just want to distance themselves from al-Islam. And anytime they are within us and they get 25, 27 years and they start making money, you see them moving from the community. And sooner or later we will lose track. We don't even know where they are. Only Muslims do this. Only Muslims. But guess what? Wallahi, unless we take responsibility and straighten our affairs and ensure that our children are far better than us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to hold us responsible. I didn't say it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did. Ba'da uzbillahi min shaitanir rajim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, do all what it takes to protect yourselves and your families from hellfire and from all indications. No one today can actually look at his son and say that my son is as religious as I am. And we blame the system, and we are right. But isn't it the same system that the Jews are using and operating? The Christians are using and operating? So why don't we can't use it and operate within? We can't keep on blaming the system and doing nothing. Nothing will change. While we know that the system is the problem, we have to say, okay, we are Muslims. How do we set things in order for our children to operate Islamically within the system? Wallahi, it's doable. But then we have to start from the basics. We have to get to know each other. Because I need you and you need me. We need each other. We have to concentrate our effort, our plans, our ideas, so that we have a clear-cut agenda. And then ask the leaders to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to let personal interest bring the problem crumbling. Not to let leadership bring the document crumbling. Wallah, it's not about us anymore. It's about our children. If they know that our children are well plugged in, they won't be picking us and insult 1,000 signatures. That's very painful. But we cause it. If you keep on blaming others, you will never solve the problem. You have to put yourself right in the middle of the problem. Okay, this is the problem. What should I do to rectify it. The moment you start blaming others, mentally, there is a cognitive disconnect between you and the problem. So you feel good. They have done this, the system have done this, the president has done. What have you done as a Muslim? How do we solve this problem and get to know each other? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought us together to benefit from each other, and that we are Muslims, and have a clear-cut agenda and put our children right on the track so that next level. If we either do that, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to question us. رَبَّنَا ظُلُمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَّمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. Al-Qail, alhamdulillah alladhi lahu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ard wa lahu al-hamdu fi al-akhirah. Wa huwa al-hakim al-khabir. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi al-abrar. My brothers, in closing, since we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does everything for a reason, and since we know we've known each other for years, and since we know we can never continue, we cannot continue to operate individually because we've seen the consequences, it is time to rectify the situation. It is time to get to know each other. It's not about where you came from. You are a Muslim. That's most important. It is time to actually accept the fact that we have problem and help solve it. It is time to actually accept the fact that our children need us and have a quality time for our children. Because that's when we get to know each other, we get to communicate with each other, we get to tell them what we want them to be. Wallahi, I met a young man, a university student, and I asked him, what do you want to be? What is your future? He has no idea. His parents never told him. So he's just wobbling in university, taking cheap courses. He will end up with a certificate that means nothing. We need to counsel them, we need role modeling. But it has to start from the basics. We have to know each other. And we do that with purity of heart. It is only then that we can put our children on the track, have a clear-cut agenda, and work as a community, putting our self-interest aside, putting our nationalities aside, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and for the sake of our children. And guess what? For the sake of Al-Islam. So that when we die off, our children will not be left without clue. It has to start today, please. Before you leave, at least get to know the one on your left and the right. Get to know their names. It has to start somewhere. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease our face. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. May our children be far better than us. Those of us who have issues, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there first. Those who have immigration issues, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there first. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our families. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those of us who already have papers, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in it. Those of us who have jobs, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in it. Those of us who don't have, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them and put barakah in it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us die in a state of Al-Islam. May our children be far better than us. May our children be far better than us. May our children be far better than us. And in closing, please, before you leave, you donate generously for the masjid so that we keep them running. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمني ويرحمكم الله. Thank you.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.